Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Death of the Asia. Thank y'all so much for joining me this evening. When you get on here, go ahead and like the video, share the video, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss when I go live. Tonight we're gonna have a really good show called Sexual Liberation Feminine. The reason why I came up with this topic is because I was at a bar a couple of weekends ago and I was just sitting there by myself, and there was a woman at the bar as well, and she was having a conversation with a group of guys, and for some reason the conversation went into femininity and sexual liberation and all of that, and I jumped into the conversation and I started asking her questions, and I got part of that conversation in a clip because what I was doing was recording myself, just trying to be cute, recording myself. And as I'm recording myself, this conversation is taking place. So boom, I jumped in these people's conversation. I'm glad she didn't get up and whoop my ass, because I'm gonna let y'all hear part of this clip. I hope it's not any copyright infringements or whatnot. If it get flagged or whatever, and I have to edit this video, I'm still gonna explain the what's going on in the clip just in case it get flagged and get taken down, because it is music in the background from the bar. So I'm gonna play this clip for y'all real quick.
I don't give my femininity to just anybody. That was my point that I was making.
But you're sexually liberated though, right?
I'm lifestyle, I'm swinger, I'm poly, I'm into BDSM, yeah.
So you're exploring your femininity within your sexuality.
No. I fuck who I want, when I want.
That's not feminine.
My femininity is reserved for people that I trust.
But your pussy ain't?
So I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Star, who is the woman that is in the video. I'm glad, like I said again, she didn't get up and beat my drunk ass, okay? Because I'm like, everything that's off limits, but your pussy ain't off limits. Okay, girl. But anyway, I wanted to have this conversation because I know that a lot of people may have looked at that clip and thought it was being judgmental and everything. But what was happening in the bar was, it was those guys were saying something about how powerful femininity is. And she was talking about, sexual liberation and things of that nature, whatever. And it made me jump into the conversation. So I'm about to bring her on, y'all. Hey, Star.
Hi.
Hi, beautiful. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Of course.
Thank you for not kicking my ass at the bar when I jumped into your conversation. I really do appreciate that. Or trying to kick my ass, because you can't whoop me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, attempting to whoop my ass. So I'm glad that you didn't attempt to whoop my ass. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Tell the people, who you are, what you're into, and
whenever
everything. Don't be nervous.
No, so I'm a mother. I have one kid, he's 10. I'm very spiritual. I like to say I'm a spiritual hoe. But I'm also, like I said in the video, I'm into swinging. I'm poly, and I'm also into BDSM. So I'm part of the lifestyle, this big lifestyle umbrella, all these things that are not within the norm that society says we're supposed to be. I definitely identify with. But yeah,
also, you like getting tied up and shit.
I do a lot. Yeah, I do a lot, girl.
Oh yeah. Ain't no wrong with that. Let them tie you up, hog tie you a little bit, spank you on your ass. Ain't no wrong with that. So in that clip, when you were having the conversation, you were talking about how you like to fuck, mm-hmm. and you like to, control that space. And you were also saying something that was very important in that video. And I edited some of it out because I didn't want to get the copyright. But you said something in that video about how you don't give your femininity. You explained it.
Yeah.
But I cut some of it out. But you don't give your explain to me, what's the difference between, how do you separate your femininity from your sexuality?
I don't equate my feminine energy, my femininity, with my pussy, to put it simple. There's a lot of things that I do in the outside world that I would definitely feel are feminine energy. And I don't give that to just anyone. So in a session, so like I said, in the lifestyle, if I were to go to a party and play with someone, I'm not going to submit to them within that session if I don't know them well enough to trust them. And I'm also going to control the session. So I want you to be here, right here, do this, do that. Someone that I'm completely comfortable with, where I can just flourish in my feminine energy, I'm going to submit to them and allow them to take control of the moment. And I'm going to follow their lead. I don't give that to just anyone.
Okay, so do you equate femininity with submission?
No,
And is it more so of a
we're having because in the video, I was saying my feminine energy, not my femininity. Because I feel like
okay.
two different things. My feminine energy is reserved for those that I feel comfortable with, and my feminine energy is when I feel like I can just relax and let someone else take the driver's seat of whatever the situation is. Um, but like my femininity, I absolutely flourish in my femininity during sexual acts, absolutely, because I'm a woman. Those two, society puts those two together. So yeah, I mean, this pum pum is real.
Okay, so with that being said, then if your femininity, if you don't feel like your femininity is associated with your sexuality, can you go on record and say that sexual liberation isn't feminine? Because if you're not employing your femininity, or you don't feel like it's being feminine, what is it?
So wait, ask me that again. If I don't feel,
Okay, so if you don't equate like your sexuality, like your sexuality is over here, femininity is over here. They don't occupy the same space all the time. They can, but not all the time. This is what I'm hearing. So they don't occupy the same space all the time. But more often than not, your femininity has nothing to do with you actually having sex. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm of the belief that sexual liberation in itself isn't feminine.
It is.
What you think about
It can.
that?
It can feminine, masculine. What? So society wants us to believe that it's not. That's what they tell us. We are dubbed from the beginning of time to believe that we're supposed to save ourselves for this one man, marry him. He's the only person we're supposed to be with. And if you ask me, that is the quickest way to stifle our sexual energy. That is the way that they make it to where women cannot be sexually liberated. That's why so many women have no idea how to have an orgasm or what an orgasm is, because they only got that one dick and he don't even know what a clit is. So now we out here just down bad. You feel me? So I definitely, sexual liberation can be feminine, it can be masculine. It just is what it is. But society has made it to where we're not able to be feminine and sexually liberated, because femininity in society terms is supposed to be reserved, conservative. Keep your legs closed, wear
Mm.
turtlenecks, don't wear clothes that are too revealing. You shouldn't be
Don't
talking
wear
like.
this. Is that
So
what?
that was
But I
that's
think I think that is part of feminine seduction. Is part of femininity, to me. But my thing is this too. When I hear a woman talk about being sexually liberated, and I consider myself to be someone who is sexually liberated as well. I own my space. But I think that a lot of times women want their cake and eat it too. They want to have it both ways. Like, you can't expect to be looked at a certain type of way when you're doing a certain type of thing. You gotta be ready to deal with what comes with being sexually liberated. And what people, it's like we be trying to fight against, like, we know we out here, we use all these fancy words for things and be like, oh, okay, we body positive but we half naked, we sexually liberated but we fucking up one leg and down the other one, or whatever the case may be. And we don't want the negative connotation that is attached to that stigma that is attached to that. We don't want to own that part of it as well. And it's kind of like, I want to fuck and do everything that I want to do, but then I also want you to respect me as a lady. And unfortunately, what we have to understand as women is, at the end of the day, it is a man's world.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, use our pussy just to change it all up and make it work in our favor, when this is just what it is, and this is just how, women who are like that are seen. So I think that there are ways that you can actually go about, being able to move in that space and have that sexual freedom, and also have a certain level of respect as well. Do would you agree with that, or what would you have to say about that?
I would say that if we're putting it in a way of, we're worried about society and what people think about us, if we're worried about finding a husband, or the men respecting us out here in this society, then yes, absolutely, all those things. You can be sexually liberated and still, maintain the look that we're supposed to. Um, but that's strictly based on the standard of you caring what everybody thinks.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you can either just live your life because you're living your life for you, or you can live your life to find a man or care what other people think about you. And I mean, it sucks because we want to be able to pop pussy all the time and not have anybody say anything about it. But folks will definitely talk. Absolutely.
yeah, and I mean, it's only right. I do I do sometimes feel like, as women, when we are like, I'm sexually liberated and I'm gonna do this my way. Sometimes I feel like that comes from at points in time in their lives when they didn't always feel like they're in control. And I think at that point in time, like once you get older, it's like maybe you didn't feel like you were in control a lot of times, and this is like the one thing you could hold on to, and on one thing that you can actually, you could actually control. And I don't want to put any jackets on anyone's back and me make it, because you know how like some people be trying to diagnose motherfuckers and make it seem like everything happened because some type of trauma that you experienced. But I think that we do deal with things on the subconscious level, because you have some women that are, more reserved for the same reasons why a lot of women are sexually liberated. It's like two ends of the same pole. So everybody move like in that same space for a different reason. Do you think that a lot of times that women who are sexually liberated or consider themselves sexually liberated is because of they trying to like regain control over their lives?
Could be. Could be absolutely. I mean, there it could be a million different reasons. I can't necessarily say, oh well, yeah, that's what it is. I know for me personally, um, I just enjoy being able to do things how I want to do them. Period. I don't necessarily feel as if um I don't want to live for nobody else's standards,
Yeah,
to put it simple. Like, I'm in this life to do it as I please and what makes me happy. Now, it could be trauma triggered for a lot of women. It could be that, they just love sex and they just want to get it when they want to get it.
yeah,
Who's to say? For me personally, I enjoy to I enjoy to leave the control out of other aspects of life. When it comes to sex, I like to have control with men.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what made you become part of the lifestyle?
Oh gosh, you want to hear the story? I'll
Yes,
short.
I want to hear it.
So, 7 years ago, I was working a job, and a coworker of mine, her and her husband, invited me and my ex-husband out to a club. Now, they did not tell us what kind of club it was. They just said, "Y'all want to go to this collaring?" We don't know what a collaring is. Like, we're still pretty vanilla at this time, and so we're like, sure. I ain't never heard of that. YOLO. So we head out there. We get to the club, and we see the end of the collaring, and then she gives us a little tour. Here are the bathrooms, here's a bar, the dance floor, these are some lockers. And I'm like, okay, some lockers, whatever. So we walk down this hall, and she's like, and these are the playrooms. And so there's like beds and all that, and I'm just like,
Ooh,
I knew immediately where we were. My ex, on the other hand, he's he's sitting there like, what the hell is this? So I told him, and like we were both shocked. And after that night, like we stayed at the club the rest of the night and hung out, and we just fell in love with it after that. And we were going like almost every weekend at one point.
Did y'all have sex in there
Mhm.
that night?
No, not the first
The
night.
first night. Okay. Okay. So that's really interesting. Y'all kind of just got
We just
sucked
got
into the thing. So when how did you feel at first when you were maneuvering through that space? Like first just kind of coming in and just being open, because that from that story it seemed like something that you just kind of like stumbled upon and it intrigued you but wasn't necessary. Did you actually have any thoughts of trying anything alternative before you actually had that experience?
yes.
So you did? Okay.
So for me, I've always been wild. My mom always said, I'm her wild child. So I had been talking to a friend like maybe a couple months prior to going to that club. We were like, I wish we could find one of these places, and then we just fell into it. So yeah, when we got there, like I wasn't really like like gasp. I was excited. I was like, oh snap, I'm in here. It's lit. So yeah,
Yeah.
I had fun.
Do you feel like you get what you actually need out of men as a woman with being sexually liberated? Do you feel like they cater to you in a way that you a lot of us women like for a man to kind of like cater to us or treat us, so to speak? Do you feel like you get treated with a certain level of respect with being sexually liberated?
Yes and no. So
Okay.
I'll explain that. So let's take it, social media for instance. I have a lot of people that follow me on Facebook, or I'm friends with on Facebook, and if they're not lifestyle, they have one way of thinking, and that's how you explain we got to carry ourselves a certain way, blah blah blah. But then I have the guys who are lifestyle, who have the utmost respect for me, who are very just they're gentlemen, like they're just
Mm-hmm.
the sweetest guys you would run into. Within this lifestyle space, we all have an understanding of what it is and what it's about and how it's supposed to go down. So when it comes to that, regular society, those men, absolutely not. But the men who are in the lifestyle and they know what it's about, they understand, they're very good people.
Yeah. Your lifestylers, they followed you over here, honey, because they in the comments.
They
I'm gonna
are.
read some of these. I'm gonna read some of these comments because I do like to acknowledge people who participate, and I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and share it. And also, I thought I had the link in the comments, girl. But I'm gonna put the link in the comments. If somebody want to jump on and give their thoughts and opinions, feel free to do so. Kendra said, "My best friend, go best friend, go best friend." She Rizzy, I don't want to say people name wrong. She gave a heart. Alan, proud home. Hey, Alan.
Hi.
Tarek said, "I love y'all. Love you too." Kendra, that's right.
Oh,
Latrice said, "Facts."
they did come out.
And I'm gonna skip through some of this. Latrice said, "Right, who cares what they think? Who cares what people think?" Yeah, I mean, I think that we don't necessarily have to care what people think, but I think it's worth evaluating. It's worth considering it. And then once we do the evaluation and assess the thing for ourselves, and we figure out how we're going to take it and maneuver, and we could still decide to do what it is that we're doing. And that's the beauty of just owning your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like really saying, hey, this is me and this is what it is. And I couldn't care less about what you think, because I have found my tribe of people who are absolutely okay with it. They adore me, they love me for me, and it's not an issue. So yeah, I think it's worth just listening to it to kind of assess the situation, so to speak, not
I,
so much as like internalizing it.
right. I like to listen to people's thoughts and see how
Mm,
they feel about things. Mainly because I like to pick brains. I like to hear different points of view on things. I can't say necessarily if it'll make me change anything I do, because at the end of the day, this is my life. I'm gonna live it how I want. Like I tell people, if you're living your life based on what everybody thinks about you, you're not doing this right.
Yeah.
So do what's like comfortable for you, what's right for you. Um, and so yeah, like I just be out here wilding sometimes, and I don't care.
Yeah, because and another reason why I wanted to have this conversation too is because when you think about sex and pursuing sex and everything, is usually like the man that is out on the chase to, try and get a woman or whatnot. And so that pursuit, it can come off a little masculine. Are you the type of woman that actually like initiate things with men?
Mhm.
And when you initiate it, how do you balance that out where it doesn't seem like super aggressive, or you're still looked at as like soft or feminine, or do you even care to be looked at as soft and feminine?
Oh yeah, there you go. I was gonna say I don't really care. What I can say is that, believe it or not, men enjoy a woman who goes for what she wants. They like that. They'll tell you, oh, I want a woman that'll let me come to her. Or, no. Well, though there are some who say that, but you'd be surprised at how many men love a woman who takes initiative and be like, so I want you. I shoot my shot all the time, whether or not I even want to talk to dude. I still shoot my shot just to see if I can. And
Yeah.
I usually slam dunk that motherfucker. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
I
do you still get the, like, in the lifestyle, do men still take their time to like actually court you? Like, do they take you out on dates and all of that, flew you out and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So you still get that? Because to me, I'm imagining, and I'm not a prude at all.
Yeah.
But it's like when I'm imagining, when I think of like lifestyle and all that kind of stuff, I'm just imagining it's like a reach and grab type of thing. Like, what's up, so you could kind of like skip certain steps. Like, you ain't even got to
Yeah.
do all of that because the man already know the woman is already with it. So it's
Well,
like, why put in that effort? Do men in the lifestyle actually put in effort to have you, or they just feel like it is what it is? What's up?
they do with me. I can't speak for every woman. But there are men who are in the lifestyle who actually want to date, who want to get to know women. And there are others who just want to fuck. Those guys who just go in there thinking that they can just tap something because it's that type of setting are usually the ones who end up getting kicked out for being disrespectful, because that's not what it's about. That's
Yeah.
not what the thing or the lifestyle is about. You don't just go to a party and think that just because you're there, you're gonna get some pussy. Nah, bruh. Like, you still have to finesse your way into the pussy. Now, it'd
Okay.
be different if I see you looking good and I just come up to you and be like, yeah, you look nice, I want to fuck. But for the most part, they still have to hunt. They still have to finesse. They still have to have conversation. They still have to woo you. So, I mean, it's not too much different. It's just the understanding that we're here to have a good time.
Okay. So, and Kendra, she's in the comments. She said, it's not a free for all.
Absolutely not.
Rightfully so. So, with this, from what I'm hearing, is it like one of those things where if you're at a party or something, is
Mhm.
that how you guys like meet? Because I'm thinking like, okay, if you're at a party, then if it's a guy at the party, he needs to know that you can't just walk up on me and expect the goods. But outside of just actually having like a party or anything like that,
Mhm.
if you're meeting up or linking
Well,
with somebody in the lifestyle, but y'all are outside of a setting, do they still put in that effort?
that's individually based. I couldn't really,
Okay.
but we do have, social media is one hell of a meet and greet in itself. So like
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of groups that are lifestyle where people meet each other through there, or different types of ways of connecting. So a lot of times the talking might happen via inbox, and by the time you get there, it's like, let's go. Like, what we waiting on?
Yeah.
So
And I think for me, it's like I'm the type of woman, and it might sound crazy because here's the thing. I feel like regardless of how women go about it, whether it's indirectly or directly, like we all sell pussy, right?
Mm.
And we either gonna sell it by way of like going out on a date and all of that, or you just gonna put the cash like right in my hand. And me, I think that yeah, even though I consider myself sexually liberated, I still be wanting a person to do a whole lot for me
Mhm.
because it's like to me that kind of a lot of times you don't get that aftercare and people don't understand what that is. It's like you probably don't get the attention and everything that you would like. You're not getting the a certain level of affection or whatever. So I like to be compensated in cash.
So
You know what I'm saying? It's basically you're paying me for my pain.
right. I get So we're really quick to add like a little history lesson. Swinging initially began with married couples.
Hmm.
So these married couples would like to go out and partake in, sex with other people, and then they go back home with each other. So that whole wooing thing and the aftercare, you're still going to get that from your husband. You guys just want to go and be able to play with something new and
Uh-huh.
take y'all asses home. Now there's been a big integration with, single people within the lifestyle, and things are changing as they are, as society always does. And so yeah, it's a lot more single people involved who might just be there to get their rocks off, or they really are looking for someone that they can be with, that they can swing with, within these.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a really tough one too, because a lot of folks are not aligned on the same, thought process when it comes to it.
Exactly. Keezy in the comments, he said, I miss going to lifestyle parties in Dallas. Me too, child. Pull up in OL, Outer Limits. Did you ever used to go to Outer Limits and
Mm-mm.
or the playground or Iniquity? Girl, I'm
Mhm.
about to tell all my business. I was trying to get on here and get your business. I'm about to tell all mine. let me go to the next comment.
Was telling all of it.
I ain't even tell. I like to use my femininity, honey. I gotta. I can't. I got. I like my femininity engaged. I like to get mine out. Just kind of like a little, give them a little shoulder song. You know what I'm saying? Girl, let me get it. Let me get to this. I'm about to tell all my goddamn business. Keezy said, I just enjoy watching. Boy, stop lying. You probably you what them people Toms over there in the corner just getting off ski, just probably jacking off in
Yeah,
the corner.
there are voyeurs. People do enjoy watching.
I like watching. I consider
Mhm.
myself what is it, a voyager and then voyeur, whatever. I be
I'm
trying
a
to act like and then I'm definitely an exhibitionist.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I girl, I
I
like being watched.
depends on my mood.
Um Dominique said that aftercare be everything. Yes, I need that. That's gonna just make me feel real good about being a hoe. Like hug me, hold me. You know what I'm
And
saying?
see, I'm the
Love
opposite.
me.
Like if
I'm
I'm
very affectionate, so I have to have it, or I'm not gonna feel good, or he just gonna have to go ahead and cash out me so I could go buy me some ice cream or something to make me feel better. I need some comfort food. Latrice said you was doing your thing. Keezy said, "Damn, you were in all the
in all
spots,
the spots.
baby. Every Friday, Saturday, baby. I actually, even though I wouldn't consider myself somebody to be part of the lifestyle or anything, I did like the environments because it was a little bit more free, and it didn't seem judgmental at all. It's like
Shit. Yeah.
and then the men that you date and that you meet from there, they were, I mean, for me, they were a whole lot more, respectful. They were a whole lot more patient. You have these guys that are not necessarily in the lifestyle or whatever, and they feel like, hey, I done took you on one date, you need to fuck me now. You know what I'm saying? And
Shit.
it's like a lot of men who are aware of certain alternative lifestyles, they know that they have to do things in order to earn it. It's like,
Yep.
i.e., submission. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? You have these people on social media, and it tickles me to death. You have these people going down social media, and they're talking about they want women to submit. It clearly it doesn't work like that. Obviously, you're not the man worthy for a woman to be submitting to if that's what you got to get on social media and say anyway, because that's going to naturally happen.
Absolutely.
Second, a man who is a true alpha male and he knows what a woman submitting to him looks like, he knows it's things that he has to do in order to earn that submission. The same way that a man look at us and be like, oh, she gave us the pussy this early and side eye us. It's the same type of thing with submission. For a man who knows what it's all about, he gonna know that I need to earn this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And do the work. And you got these men up and down social media, baby. They just crying for somebody to bow down to them and ain't did a goddamn thing.
Feeling super entitled, thinking that just because they got a penis that they deserve to have a woman to submit to them, but don't know the first fucking way to be respectful and earn it. I agree with that. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah.
I'm sorry, girl. I be over here with my handy dandy notebook, baby. I be doing my Blues Clues. I can't even find my pen. I've been losing my train of thought too. Child's trying to drink and do a show. Let me get my ink pen. Hold on. I ain't gonna stand up too much because y'all gonna have to tilt me if I show y'all everything I got going on right here. I can't show y'all everything. You're gonna have to tilt me. My cash app is $ DAsia DASIA Robinson ROBINSON 901. If you want to send me a little tip. Yes, for having these things out. You know, we came to have some fun tonight.
I ain't got none to.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Going back to the video, right? How did you feel when I initially jumped in that conversation? I'm a strange ass woman at the bar. You don't know me from a Pepsi can, and I done jumped my way into your conversation that you having with somebody else. How did you feel when I jumped into your conversation?
I didn't feel slighted or disrespected or anything. It felt like just genuine conversation. Like you were really trying to figure out where, my thought process was with everything. So like, yeah, that's how I felt. It's just initial, like, okay, she's trying to see why I think the way that I think.
Yeah. And that's what it was. And I was just like, I hope this goes well. I hope this goes well because I was genuinely trying to grasp what it was that you were saying, because it was so interesting that guy was saying, he was like, your femininity is so powerful. Your femininity.
So, I'll tell you, it was a whole big blow up about a spades game that I left out of because one of the guys was cheating. And the guy told me that my masculine energy was too much. Do I ever flourish in my feminine energy? And I get this a lot. And see, the thing is, I absolutely do. I love my feminine energy. I'm feminine as fuck, actually. But I don't just allow that energy. I don't give that energy to just anyone. And so I actually took to you better than I did homeboy, because I don't feel like, nigga, who is you? I'm sorry. Like, where'd you come from? Like some random dude telling me how I'm supposed to manage my energy. I know feminine energy is extremely powerful. You don't have to tell me that. You think that because you see me from one moment in this space of what happened, now you know what I do with my energy. Like, fuck out of here. So yeah. When you called me over and started talking to me, I was kind of relieved. Like, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go and talk to her.
Because you know what? I noticed that a lot of people think feminine energy is all just so like soft and
prissy and
it's pretty and it's this or whatever, and that's cute and everything. But sometimes feminine energy is just as bold, just as strong,
absolutely,
and just as fierce as masculine energy.
Absolutely.
And we men and women both have masculine and feminine energy. I just think as women we could get a lot more out of men with using our feminine energy in the same way, like, men, get a lot out of us by using their masculine energy. But it definitely has to be a balance of the two. And that's the reason why I was saying, like, actually going out and pursuing men, shooting your shot and things like that. I know that they could be associated more so with the masculine energy. So I think women have to be careful with actually, not to say don't do it, because I'm definitely gonna shoot my shot, because I don't like for people to just choose me. I feel like the woman should be choosing who she's gonna deal with. And I
Absolutely.
don't want to be dealing with the leftovers. Everybody got their man, and I'm left over with whoever just out the crowd just decided to pick me. No, I'm gonna choose you, and go from there. But I do know how to let a guy know that I'm interested, and then put the ball in his court so he could actually pursue me, because I like to be pursued. I like to chase. So I definitely do
I,
what I need to do to actually make myself accessible.
you said what?
I actually do. I know what to do in order to make myself accessible, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I will let a guy know that I am actually interested. Like, even when I met you at the bar, I actually was at another bar, and those guys, I was sitting at the table by myself, and they started talking and all of that. And I do that as a single woman. I go out by myself because it's easier for a man to come up to you and talk to you when you're by yourself versus being with a group of women or a group period. And so they started talking to me, and they asked me to come to that bar that I had never been to before. Probably ain't gonna never go back. But I'm glad I met you there. Yeah, because when I saw they were playing spades all at the bar and slapping dominoes and bones, and then the old man bartender, you know what I'm saying? He pouring the drink slow as, so I was like, I don't think I'm gonna come back here. But I'm glad I met you there though.
Yeah.
But when they even was like, come to this bar with us. I came to the bar, they was like, you on the tab, whatever, get what you want. And it was cool. And I like that. I love being a woman. And
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to turn it on and turn it off. Like, I like to, flirt. I like to just, like, get cute and get dolled up and do all the girly stuff. That's the reason why I hate when men be talking about, y'all need to quit wearing weave. Y'all need to quit wearing makeup. Y'all need to quit. That's part of our fucking femininity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's part of what we do. It make us feel, like it makes us feel real good, like a goddess. You get yourself together, you're feeling cute and everything. And I love doing it and going out and just sitting at somewhere and batting my eyes, and the men are coming to me. I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That makes me feel powerful.
Right.
And then when I pop these legs open, baby, oh Lord, have mercy. They
See,
hooked in, you know what I'm saying?
it's,
So
I
I
think
have to be
like
careful with this big old wolf pussy.
like you said, feminine energy can be just as powerful. It can be just as all those things that we think are masculine energy. I think a lot of times when I become aggressive, people take that as masculine. But when I shoot my shot to a dude, I feel like I'm feminine with it. And let me tell you,
Yeah,
when I shoot my fucking shot, I don't miss ever. I've
you better
never
preach.
I've never had a guy be like, "Oh no, I'm not interested." Ever. So, with that being said, if I'm going in for the kill cuz I want it, like I feel like I can do that in a feminine way and still be powerful, but a lot of people see it as this masculine energy. And no, I still make niggas still be eating right out of this hand right here while I'm
Yeah,
in while I'm telling them everything they should be doing. It's men out there.
girl, I'm sorry to cut you off,
Oh,
but I don't know who Rico is. Probably one of your people, but he got me too damn tickled right now. He said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." He said, "I don't know, because when the weeds come off, you find out she have a spoonful of hair." What was
I sure was
it? People be going too far. Not a
bruh.
spoonful of her. See, people play too much on the internet. See, that reason why we can't have nothing. Because that reason why we
That's
can't have nothing. Folk gonna cut
that's
up.
why.
That man said a spoonful of her.
I'm like, who is
We ain't gonna do right. Black folk ain't gonna do right on the internet,
no.
baby. They just, that's why we be over there. We not gonna do right on Blue Ivy's internet, honey. Nah, he done cut up. But yeah, I'm sorry. You could continue. I just had to get that out because I'm really like a real goofball. So I'm sorry.
laughing just now.
That shit tickled
I
me.
don't oh, I was saying I don't feel like when I shoot my shot, I feel like I'm still very feminine. I feel like I'm still within my feminine energy, however much I feel like giving in that moment.
Mhm.
Um, Me shooting my shot does not, people feel like it's a masculine thing, and I don't see it that way.
It can be. It just depends. Some people can be super aggressive, but it can be. And I don't think that other people should really kind of try and define femininity for for a woman, because but this is a thing. I battle with this though. I battle with this. Walk with me real quick.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to men, and we see a man not moving like a man, how what we feel like a man should be doing or whatever, and he like moving like a bitch ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? Or just like doing things where it's like, he probably be a little, he's giving very much, like just real soft or weak or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And we be like, he need to man up. We quick
Yeah.
to tell a man that he needs to man up. But on the flip side, if a man is telling us that we need to be more feminine, then we be like, you ain't finna control me. You're not about to tell me what to do.
What
This is
I'm
my
supposed to,
space. I'm a woman. Hear me roar. And you don't define my femininity. And then I'm over here saying this, so I'm going to sound double tongued, because in my mind as a woman, I'm like, you don't define my femininity. You know what I'm saying? But in a sense, if we over here trying to define masculinity and say what that should look like and what's a man, why can't a man have input on femininity?
I don't think anybody should be doing it, period. And the reason why I say that is because we have literally been groomed from the moment that we come out the fucking womb on what we're supposed to be as a man and as a woman. And so no one thinks to question it. Everyone just goes along with it. Like, well, because I have a pussy, I'm supposed to do these things, and because I have a dick, I'm supposed to do these things. But no one questions it. We all just be like, okay, that's the rules, blah, blah, blah. And so now you have a society full of people telling other folks what the fuck they supposed to be doing with their life. And it's like, live yours how you want. Let me live how I want. Because
Mm-hmm.
this guy might find me aggressive, but this guy loves my aggression. So I'm gonna go where the fuck I'm wanted at. And y'all can have
Yeah,
your
you got to
day.
catch up with your kind.
Absolutely. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and conform to anything if I can find people out there who understand me.
Yeah, and I think too, because I had this problem and it confused the hell out of me. I just did not know. I really had to have a introspective look at myself and try to redefine myself as a woman, because everything that I knew and I felt like I was doing right in one particular situation, uh, I went into another situation and none of that was working. Like everything that I felt like worked in the previous, like the thing, like the good things that the same, I'm doing the same thing, but what the one guy was saying about me and he was praising me for, the next guy I got into a relationship, he had an issue with that. Those very same things. So now I'm sitting up like, what do I do? Because this is how I've been moving this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how to, all these years of doing something a certain type of way and just flip that off. I don't know how to just up and just do that in order to please my partner. Even though I want to please my partner, I want my partner to be happy with me. But all at the same time, how do I flip this switch? Because I'm not understanding.
You couldn't.
Like he used to say I didn't listen. Where else the other guy used to be like, I like that you listen to me. Like I have a lot of guys that I'm a good listener. But he used to be like, you don't never listen to me. And the thing is he didn't want me to have input on anything. It wasn't that I didn't listen. It was I heard him and now I'm giving feedback. And now we're just having a conversation. I'm giving my thoughts and I'm giving my opinion. And it's kind of like, I really don't want to hear you talk. I don't give a fuck about what you're thinking. I just need you to look good for me. And I just need you to perform these, wifely duties or whatever the case may be. But I don't need your fucking opinion. And that's how that was, So I think you're absolutely right when it comes to just dealing with people who accept you for who you are. Now, I can say sometimes as women, we try and operate in these exceptions all the time. and we can make things a little bit harder for ourselves for not conforming to certain things. And so we got to be willing to deal with that as well. Do you think sometimes like maneuvering through life can be a little harder because we refuse to conform to certain things that men put out there?
I feel like we make life harder for ourselves if we push to conform to something that we don't want to. There's absolutely no possible way that I spent 2 years in a relationship. I met this guy in the lifestyle. When we met, he knew who I was. He knew what I was about. I was very transparent. When I meet people, I put it out there for you. This. So then you can be like, okay, I can deal or I can't. He said he could deal, and it was 2 years of him not fucking dealing. And I did everything that I felt I could to be accepted by this person. Damn near, fucked my mental up behind trying to make myself good enough for this person. So when you say a lot of times women make it harder on themselves by not conforming to what men want, no, fuck that. You be who you want to be as a woman. You will find the person who is aligned with you, who accepts you, who understands you, who is willing to work with you, to compromise, whatever the case may be. We hurt ourselves more when we try to conform and be someone that we are not inside for the sake of having a man.
Yeah. And I think too what I kind of like experience, what I would tell people that that is a good and bad thing for me. Let me hop in these comments real quick. Kyrie said, pieces. Hey, Kyrie. Tristan said, if you change for your partner, then your partner isn't actually happy with you.
Absolutely.
Facts. Rico Tripper said, never listen is a mean. Shut the F up. True. So, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Make sure you like the video, share it, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook page. For me, I think that growing up in a traditional, like I grew up where it was like housewives. Like everybody was married. Like my uncles, that's my uncles. These men, they been my uncle since I was a little kid. Like everybody is married. Like if my aunties were to leave my uncles, they still my uncle. It doesn't matter. I've been knowing these people before I knew myself. Before, how did I say this shit? I've been knowing girl, people. I did that, didn't it? I really did fuck that up.
Yeah.
But, I've been knowing them just as long as I've been knowing myself, right? Yeah, there you go. Help me out, girl. Give me together. Okay. So anyway, I've been knowing these people forever, right? And so I seen the traditional family and the, just making it work regardless and, doing what it takes. And so I think what ended up happening was I ended up in a situation where the guy really didn't know his power and I didn't know my boundaries. You get what I'm saying? So I walked into there like, well, I got to do if he don't like this, I still need to switch this up. I need to change this or whatever. I got to make him happy and all this all kind of stuff. And it wasn't a thing where it was a fear of actually losing him. It was more so of this is what you're supposed to do in order to make your relationship work, But I realized that my compromise became a sacrifice. And once I woke up and realized that my compromise had then became a sacrifice, I got the hell up out of that situation. Now, once I got myself up out of that situation, I was so, torn into so many different pieces because I was losing myself trying to make something work with him. And I didn't even realize that I was losing. You don't know that you done lost yourself until you done lost yourself.
Until it's gone.
Yeah, you don't know until you know. Yeah. So I was just like, God damn, I did that. And then I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. Like, then nobody have to tell me I was stupid. I was like, oh, you a stupid motherfucker.
I swear to God, I'd be shameful.
I'm like, oh, girl. I was just like, don't even... Listen, you don't even. You did all that stupid shit. You don't even need to tell nobody this in public. You just
don't you say
ignorant. Girl, that's how I was feeling. I was like, Nah, on Deasia, I know you
Like,
fucking lying.
I'm taking that story to the grave. That ain't.
Yes, just ignorance, just pure
Mm-hmm.
foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you're absolutely right. You have to be careful with you know, I think
Look,
it's okay to compromise in certain situations, as long as it's not a thing where it's actually changing yourself. Like if
that.
it's not changing you,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't come get with me. You see how I post up. You see I ain't got no problem with a little piece of fishnet and a little bra. So don't get with me and then be talking about you need to, I don't like that, but you already know this is why
You know
you
what it
started talking to me in the first place type thing. You get what I'm saying?
is. That
Yeah.
so that's one of the things that I've noticed too, is that a lot of men are drawn to my aggressiveness or this masculine energy, and then once they get with me, they want to try and tame me, calm me down. It's a challenge, like, to and yeah, that ain't gonna happen, Captain. And
Yeah.
I make that really clear. Like, I've already been through that with the whole trying to change me thing. I'm not going through that again.
Yeah. Do you
Mm-mm.
think that like that has done you good, like with your dating life? Like,
Yeah.
or are you dating or single?
No.
Like, well,
No.
I don't even know
Yes.
if you lifestyle. Then it's like, you just
I am.
just part. It's what is it like? Is it like when in the lifestyle? Like, do you actually have like? It's not. It won't necessarily. It won't be every relationship is like a poly relationship, right?
No. No, it's not.
If you have monogamous relationships in the lifestyle,
You can have
oh,
like
I sound dumb, don't it?
you can have like open relationships, or ethically non-monogamous,
Okay.
which don't really fall into polyamory, or whatever kind of poly people want to practice. But no, I would say anybody who is in the lifestyle that claim to be monogamous should not be within those lifestyle spaces, because the lifestyle is made specifically for those who are not a part of the normal, the norm in society. And the norm in society is to be mono. So
Okay.
when you get people within these spaces who are mono, that's how you get like the judgments and the jealousy, and that's
Hmm.
the space for all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, because I actually consider myself to be polyamorous, but it's like one of those things where, and I think this is too what I want to touch on. Like even with people when they are bisexual, a lot of people feel like being someone who is bisexual is just like a freak show. Like that means that they want both at the same time all the time, or you finna just be having these threesomes and all of that, and that's not the case.
Right.
It's just basically that you can feel something for both sexes, and that
Absolutely.
doesn't mean that you're not able to be faithful or be in a monogamous relationship if that's what you two agree to.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you with a man is not going to mean that you're going to be sitting up craving a woman. The
Right.
same way if you're with a woman doesn't mean that you're going to be sitting up here craving a man. And I think that's just the misconception that people have. And then it seems like, a lot of people think that even with being polyamorous, like you could just really just run out here and do whatever it is that you want to do. And I think that's the reason why people have they call it what, ethical,
Ethical non
um you said is ethical what?
ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah, and that's like that's really good. I really do appreciate things like that. But when it's like people that feel that, like Kendra was saying earlier, I think that was Kendra that said, people be thinking it just be a free for all because you do live in an alternative lifestyle. Excuse me, you live an alternative lifestyle, and I think people go in it and they start trying to exploit your sexuality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You find a lot of guys who are not lifestyle, but they somehow made it into the space, and they definitely want to find bisexual women so that they can have, the threesomes of their lives.
Hmm.
Um, and it, it's pretty disgusting if you ask me, because, sir, you're not finna drag me into nothing with no pussy I don't want.
Exactly. And then a lot of them be disrespectful. You could be at the store, or whatever. They think they could just look back and stare at ass just because you share similar interests in women too, and they feel like they could just do what the hell they want to, or whatever the case may be.
They might. I mean, personally, I don't care. I'm probably looking too, but because I'm poly, I definitely don't. I don't police anybody that I'm with. I don't police what they do with their body, their eyes, their dick, their pussy. Like, I don't police none of that. I would like for us to have complete and open and honest transparency. So if you decide you want to go on a date tonight with someone else, let me know. If you decide you want to just go and fuck somebody else, let me know. I'm not ever, and as long as you're being safe within what you're doing, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, no, you can't do that, or throw a big fit, because being poly, that's your right. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
here to tell you what to do with yourself. Um,
Yeah.
to a lot of guys, when they meet me and they learn that and they hear all that stuff, and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, I want, she like this and that." And then when it's my turn to do it,
They
when it's
got an
my,
issue with it. They
oh
can't
no,
take it.
yeah, like, I don't know, you can't do that. I'm not comfortable with that. Like,
Hmm.
wait, what? We talked about this. You knew. Now you're not okay. Okay,
Exactly.
but
That's the
yeah.
reason why I don't play around no more. Gregory Dixon said, "I have a serious question," and then he said, "Oh, she is open, open. Okay, okay. What's your question, Gregory? Go ahead and send whatever your question is. Um, before I forget the next thing that I was gonna say. So anyway, it's like when you're dealing with these guys and everything, it's unfortunate that they look at it this way. I actually had a particular situation, and people be thinking I'd be so funny and I'd be dead serious. And I had this guy that asked me, "Have you been with a woman before?" So I asked him, had he been with a man before? He got offended.
He got me so mad.
He got he don't ask me no bullshit like that, but you ask me some bullshit like that. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Because what does this have to do with anything me and you got going on? You know what I'm saying? So if you want to know any alternative lifestyles I lived in, I need to know yours. If you feel like it's okay and you're so comfortable with asking me that bullshit, I'm gonna ask you the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, what's the harm in that? Have you been with a man before? Because y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all jumping fences out here too now.
Oh, I
You know what
like
I'm
him.
saying? Y'all out here having sword fights. So
Listen,
let me know.
when I say I'm all the way across the spectrum, like, I'm pansexual, meaning I see the person, the soul, not what's in between their legs. So my ex-husband is actually transgender, female to male. So I definitely don't I see people for who they are, for who they are in here versus what they look like. So I don't mind, they got, like, whatever they got going on, that's their individual thing. I love you regardless.
Let me ask you this, because it be a little different when with trans people, with the woman to the man to a woman. It'd be a little different because they go get breast and they do all that or whatever. They might not necessarily get a sex change because that's more so transsexual versus transgender.
It can be either.
So, like, if a woman is trans, okay, if it's a trans man, that's a woman turning into a man, right?
Hmm.
Okay, ain't that just a stud?
No, that's a lesbian. So one of the things I have to tell people within the LGBTQIA, because they got all the letters now, T has nothing to do with sexuality. Someone
Right.
transgender can be bisexual, they can be straight, they can be gay. Their sexuality has nothing to do with their identity, their self.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you have to separate those two, so that, like, there's no confusion in between that. Trans is literally just how they identify, how they feel they're supposed to be, what they were supposed to be born as.
So, okay, so when you say no, it's a lesbian, that's because, like, a stud
A
is
stud is a
that's
woman.
based on sexuality versus versus a trans person is based on identity. Okay, that makes sense.
Studs are usually lesbians, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't change they don't change their name, most don't change their pronouns, they still go by she, her. They're still women, they just dress masculine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Gregory, he has his question. I'm not gonna keep you too long, girl, because I don't know how much what you got going on, what you need
Ain't
to
got
do, or
nothing.
whatever. But Gregory asked the question. He said, "My question is, why are these relationships so complicated these days? Did our grandparents do all this freaky shit back in the days? Don't your grandparents got 13 and 14 kids?
They was nasty. Yeah.
They was doing what you they ain't even have all these diseases and stuff back then. They was fucking all outside of the milkshake shop and burger places
That's
in
a
them
hard
little Chevy Chevelles and shit.
that's a hard question to answer because I mean it can be many factors. I think the hardest reason though for relationships to last these days is because women are a lot more independent. We don't have to rely on a man to provide for the household, which in turn makes men have to be likable. We have to like you. And it's harder for men because they never really had to be liked. I'm a provider. You don't have to like me. You got a roof over your head, right? The kids got clothes on their back. Like, you don't have to like me. And let's be honest, granddad, great granddad, he probably had about 4 or 5 kids running around in the neighborhood that didn't belong to grandma anyway, great grandma, whatever. So, I mean, social media could be a factor. It could be a lot of things. The fact that divorce, it wasn't legal for women to file for divorce until what I think like the 70s or maybe the 90s. I don't know. Somewhere
Mm-hmm.
it was really recent. So a lot of women didn't have a fucking choice. They had to stay with this dude who was probably abusive or making kids outside of them. So there's a lot of factors into that why relationships don't last, why marriages don't last, because women don't have to put up with shit that we used to. That's a big one.
That makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world. I'm all for, I'm all for families, period. Whether it's a
Mhm.
nuclear family, whether it's like one like a more progressive family, I'm all for it. But
Absolutely.
and I do think that a lot of times we fall back in our when we having these types of conversations, we want to fall back and talk about what grandma and grandpa did as if they did everything right. And like
Oh,
we're doing everything wrong. And then we want to, you have a lot of people that say what grandma and grandpa did, but the men who are saying that ain't got shit on the granddaddy. You ain't the type of man like granddaddy. You ain't no provider like granddaddy. You on Facebook asking women to go 50-50 and open the door for you and treat you like a fucking lady. So my thing is, you want to be courted and pursued and chased or whatever. Probably want to get a little finger and a little peg and or whatever the case may be. It's
I
like
like that.
y'all want to get treated like a lady out here, but then you want to turn around and be like, we ain't nothing like our grandparents. You ain't nothing like your grandma, but you ain't nothing like your granddaddy. You can't build shit. Don't know how to chop no wood or start a fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't even have any survival skills or anything like that. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Not doing anything that's necessary to prepare for a family, to take care of your family, for your family to be taken care of outside in your absence, and all of that. Ain't doing anything to solidify any type of foundation for a family makeup. In order for a woman to be able to thrive in her femininity, in order for a woman to be feel safe enough to submit to you and do all those things that you're telling her to do. And what men gotta understand is you want to be the leader, you want somebody to submit to you, so the shit gonna have to start with you. The fix gonna have to start with you. You're gonna have to take ownership of that and you're gonna have to correct it. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, and I'm not trying to release women of any responsibility or
Oh yeah.
accountability, because there's things that we have to do on our end as
Mhm.
well. But you can't be talking about you the head, you the leader, and you want somebody to submit to you and you want to point a finger. Unfortunately, you just gonna have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and fix this shit, because the reason why things are like it is now is because of y'all. And it's might not necessarily be because it's all your fault, because I know that we are oppressed people. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And I know the black man does have this, a whole lot of pressure and got the weight of the world on his shoulders. But all at the same time, you have to look in the mirror and you got to see, the reason why these women are fucked up out here, because it was a time when y'all wasn't there for us. And it was a time when we needed y'all and we had to depend on y'all. You didn't really use your power correctly. You went out and you cheated on us, you hurt us, you beat us, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You left us in like some of the most horrible conditions with your badass naughty nose kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take responsibility for that first and understand it, because yeah, we messed up, y'all are messed up, but it got to start with somebody first. And
Absolutely.
who and where we need to start at the fucking head.
Society changes so much too, and I think if people keep comparing relationships now to what it was back when, you know, our grandparents were our age or whatever, we're not getting anywhere with that. Society's going to continue to change. It's not going to stay the same. We have to figure out how to come together as a people and adapt to the new ways of things.
Mm-hmm.
Is I wouldn't want a relationship with somebody like how they did back in the day, where I'm just at home taking care of the kids while he out working, and then going and doing whatever the fuck he want to do, and then he come home and be tripping on me. I don't want none of that. Like we're an evolving people.
Mm-hmm.
Up with the times and evolve. And I definitely agree. We can't put it all on men. Like, it's not just a man thing. Like, both sides are at fault. And you add in the oppression, you know, you add in the fact that we're black and
Yeah.
all that we deal with in America with that. Like, yeah, absolutely.
All of
It's
that has to be taken into account.
a struggle out here.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I ain't gonna keep you long. I definitely appreciate you for coming. You gotta come back, girl. I love talking to you. I love your
Oh,
energy.
still.
You dope. You dope. I love talking to you. And I like the way that you don't have a problem with, opening up and talking, and as long as somebody is being, respectful, or really showing that they're genuinely interested in listening to what you're trying to say, and trying to learn, and
Yeah.
not just like place judgment. I actually had somebody, before I wrap this up, I had somebody that is part of the lifestyle actually sent me a message and was like, I wanted to be careful before I posted this on my page, because I didn't know if it was going to be judgy or whatever. And I told her, I said, listen, whether it was judgy or not, it's okay to have these open conversations, because if I have misjudged it, then I'm talking to somebody who can educate me
Absolutely.
and steer me in the right way, so I can get a better understanding. And I think that's what we need to do with a lot of these like conversations that we be having about alternative lifestyles and the LGBTQ community and all of that. There needs to at some point be some type of sit down where, you know what, I'm not going to be politically correct. I don't know everything. I might say the wrong word. That's not my life that I live. I don't know shit about, what I'm saying, the fact that, hey, you're a transgender, outside of the fact that you got on some different clothes or whatever, and you think that, you're different than the sex that you were subscribed at birth. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so to expect for somebody to use the right terms, or, know what's appropriate and inappropriate, we don't necessarily know that, because we don't live that lifestyle. A lot of this stuff is not that it's something new. It's just that it wasn't something that it was so mainstream. So
Yeah.
everybody is learning. And I think that outside of sexuality, just anything that we experience in life and the things that we go through that we might be a little ignorant about and not have a full understanding, I think that we need to be able to have these conversations and let people make their mistakes and correct them. And the person who is making a mistake has to be willing to learn and be educated
There
and
you
be
go.
corrected.
There you go. And so
Yeah.
that's, if I feel like you're not really trying to hear me, you're trying to push your ideas on me, or
Yeah.
really, I'm done.
Yeah, because some people have like some stone cold, they have their set beliefs and their way of seeing things. And what people got to understand is these conversations is not to change anybody's mind. It's just to get a better understanding. And like, I could have conversations until somebody is blue in the face about something that I don't believe in. It's not for them to change me and make me do something different. It's for me to be able to understand them better, so that we could both coexist in this world in peace. And that's all it's about at the end of the day. So in essence, to wrap this all up and tie it in a bow, we have agreed that sexual liberation isn't feminine.
No, we didn't agree that.
We didn't agree to that. Okay, so
Because
what would you say?
the reason
So
I say that is I don't want to give out the idea that women can't enjoy themselves, that they can't learn.
okay.
how to be sexually liberated. Like I stated in the beginning, us women, 79% of women have, or 72% of women have never had an orgasm from penetration. And it's because we're told we're not allowed to explore this shit. So we don't know. A lot of women don't know what the fuck they doing. They just allowing these men to masturbate in them. I
Yeah.
don't agree. I, honest to God, feel like sexual liberation can be masculine, it can be feminine, it can be whatever the hell you want it to be. Own your sexuality, love your sexuality, become one with your sexual. We're sexual beings. To repress any of that shit is an idea that society tells us we have to do. We are sexual beings. We are allowed to explore. We should be allowed to explore that. Women should
Mhm.
know how to have an orgasm from penetration.
Yeah,
Men
actually,
should know.
I did a video on. We actually did a video a couple weeks ago that was called "Stop Faking Orgasms,"
Yeah.
and yeah, it's on the YouTube. We did a really a show about that. But I think that with the sexuality being well, is sexuality feminine? I mean, sexual liberation feminine or not? I look at it like one of those things where it's a thin line. You know, it can be feminine
Mm-hmm.
if you make it feminine. I don't feel like just throwing it out there. Like me, I'm the type of person that I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I'm knowing, like, I have this thing called the big old wolf pussy tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know when I'm talking about the big old wolf pussy tour that I'm not seen as a lady. I'm not seen as, oh, this is feminine or whatever the case may be. I know that when I put that out there, like, I'm intentional. I know what the hell I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't expect to be met with a certain type of energy when I'm putting this out there. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one of those things where you have these women like a slut walk, right? And it's like you're having something called the slut walk, but then you don't want to be shamed. It's like you still want it to be looked at. You still want to be looked at and respected like a lady,
We
but
should.
yet you having a slut walk.
We should. We should.
But that don't occupy those two. How can you occupy that same
Because
space though?
only reason that people think like that is because you are still stuck in this idea of what society tells us we're supposed to be, which is why folks struggle with the idea of those who push the boundaries of gender normatives. We have this idea that society tells us women are supposed to be this way, men are supposed to be that way. No one questions it. They just go along with it. So then men look at us a certain way because we're not conforming to what they feel we should be as women. I personally do not give a fuck what no man thinks about me because, like I said, this one might not like it, but this one does. And I still think no matter if I have a damn turtleneck on up to here or if I got on my little tiny titties is showing and I got on this little tiny skirt, my body is my body. I put on what I want to put on for my benefit, and you have no weight over this. You're entitled to nothing. You can feel how you want to feel about me, but feel it over there because I don't care.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely true. I think my thing is not it's kind of accepting what comes with that. You know, like a lot of times women are trying to change. Like, we know how society is set up. We know how society looks at us for doing certain things, and you know, we push against that or whatever. But I think that a lot of times we have to accept, you know, what comes with us, you know, saying, hey, look, this is me and I'm sexually liberated and I'm gonna put it all out there. I think we need to accept what comes with that, because to me, I honestly don't feel like sexual liberation and what I have seen be displayed in social media, in society or whatever, I don't think that that's feminine. I think you can be sexually liberated and be feminine, but I don't think it's feminine to have slut walks. I don't think it's feminine to you know, be performing and shaking your ass in leotards or whatever the case may be. And it's okay to me if it's okay that it's not feminine.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I just don't like for things to be called something that is not. Like, I don't like for somebody to be half naked and say that it's body positivity.
What is feminine?
Like, to me, it's more so of just like kind of just being in your space and just showing like, you know what, you can attract people and bring them to you just from just being a woman. Not, you don't have to do a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? You just have to exist. You have to being feminine is being sure of yourself, taking care of yourself, and
Sure.
just owning your space and not feeling like you have to do a whole lot in order to, be seen or to, be heard or whatever. And I think that a lot of times us as women, we try and just kind of like fight against that. And I think because even though as Black people we have been oppressed, but women, we have been oppressed as well, just from just our gender. And I think a lot of times we kind of just like start trying to fight against that.
So what I'm gonna say is you're literally saying, my thing is, society tells us who we're supposed to be, and we cling so tight to that. We cling so hard to that, that you are telling women that they can't be who they want to be because it's not feminine enough. They shouldn't get up there and shake their ass because it's not feminine enough, and leotards, and they shouldn't do these things because it's not. Who are we to say what feminine is and how it should be showcased and what people should be doing? And that's my point. That's why I say I feel like sexual liberation can be feminine, it can be masculine, it can be whatever the hell we want it
Yeah.
to, because everyone should be able to enjoy their sexuality and feel free in it.
Yeah. I think for me it's like, I'm okay. Have your sex. I'm gonna have mine. Shake your ass. Show your tits. Do whatever you want to do. I like being half naked. Like I told you, I'm an exhibitionist. So as far as being half dressed and all this whole kind of stuff, like that's just me, or whatever the case may be. I just think that maybe sometimes people can like go a little bit too far. It start looking like it starts seeming forced to me, to an extent. Like you could be a woman that enjoys sex and love to have sex, but you ain't got to go have a slut walk about it. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't have to be just like, you know what, I like fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You heard me on your video.
yeah, and that's the reason why I jumped in the conversation, because I'm like, hold on, baby. Like, we gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you could like fucking and you could like all of those things, but then it's like, why it gotta be, why it seems like it's one of those things where it's kind of forcing it if you gotta just kind of put it out there in a way. Because I guess for me, when I'm doing something like that, I have a real reason as to why I'm doing it. I'm selling big old wolf pussy tickets. That's the reason why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to be seen. I don't want you to see me as anything else but what I'm putting out there right now, because that's what I want you to gravitate to, what I'm putting out there. And I think sometimes as women, we be putting bullshit out there, but then we want to be seen a certain type of way after putting the bullshit out there. And I don't think that that's fair, because even though society is set up a certain type of way, and society shouldn't tell us what to do, but we live in society. You know what I'm saying? And so there are different rules, and unfortunately, it doesn't always work in our favor. So that's my thing with it. What you got to say about that?
I wanted to speak on the whole idea of, if you act a certain way or do a certain thing, you have to be prepared for, the whatever comes with it. Now, if we're talking on a certain pedestal, like, within entertainment, if somebody goes out there and they say something stupid or they do something stupid, be prepared for the public to, talk about you or whatever. But now there's this fine line that you toe when you say that, because we look at situations where we tell women, you can't wear this and you can't wear that. And if you do wear it and you get sexually assaulted, that's your fault. What did you expect?
Yeah. So I definitely don't want to put, for that to be the thing. So, and I know how some people could hear that and run with it. So now, definitely thank you for clearing it up.
With that being said, I feel like at some point, we as women in the society have to get comfortable in our sexuality, and we have to let it be known that I don't care what I do, I still deserve respect as a human being, period. Your values, your morals, they may not be mine. We should still respect each other, correct?
Yeah.
So whatever you believe in, if you don't think somebody should act a certain way, that's strictly your belief. I probably don't even think that same way. I don't believe in it. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do, but I still
Mm-hmm.
deserve respect as a human being. And so
Exactly.
that's my point. Like, we can sit here and say, well, we know the society that we're in. Absolutely. And people can change. People just refuse to. That's all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. I think you still should, people still should be respectful because people need to just have like respect for people, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I live a certain type of lifestyle or whatever, that doesn't give you license to be disrespectful towards me. But I do feel like we have to. I don't want to say, because you did say you did make a good point when you was talking about being careful, because people will try to victim blame if something were to happen to women if they dress a certain type of way. I'm not going that far. You know, I don't want nobody to think that. But what I am saying, I guess it's more so like understanding, not understanding that, you know, there is a battle, or there you might not always be received well
Absolutely.
all the time. Not to say that people need to, they have license to disrespect you or anything like that, but then I know too, once you get to that point and to the level that you're at, and how a whole lot of other women are, it's kind of like they don't give a fuck how they received anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm only worried about who, you know, I'm only worried about who, you know, love and care about me and who respect me, and I just catch up with my kind. And I definitely understand it. But
I
these are
think,
good conversations to have, to kind of like look at it from, you know, different perspectives or whatever, and just kind of like pull back some of those layers to get a better understanding.
yeah.
Before we wrap it up tonight, is there anything else that you would like to say? Because I don't want to keep you all night, girl, because I could ramble. Is there anything else you would like to say, or anything you got going on you would like to promote? Where can people find you or whatnot?
So you can find me on Facebook, Star, and then the letters LS. Um, I'm also on TikTok, Starlit Witch 88. I am very much spiritual. I do divination, tarot cards, all that stuff. So a lot of the shit that I be saying about society is because I just don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. And also, what else is there? I mean, that's pretty much. Oh, and I have a Facebook page, Starlit Witch, also. So you guys can check me out there. And
Okay.
my Star LS page is my nasty page. Just throwing that out there for anybody who does want to follow that.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all know where you can find me. You can find me in St. Louis, hey, with the gun blade. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, y'all know y'all can find me on Facebook, YouTube. Y'all like the Facebook page and head over to YouTube and like that, subscribe, share it, and all that good stuff. Y'all know how to do that social media shit. I ain't got to keep giving y'all instructions. But run over there and subscribe to Deaths of the Asia on YouTube. And every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can find me here. Sometimes I do have my impromptu shows called the You Can't Whoop Me edition of the Deaths of the Asia, where I'm talking about trending topics. So I could just pop up at random with it. So you don't want to miss it. If you like this video, share it with a friend, and then go watch some other videos. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay on real quick, because I want to just give you some last words behind the scene. We can't have these people all up in our business like that. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Thank you for having me too. I enjoyed myself.
Girl, you welcome. I appreciate this conversation. You're gonna have to come back.
I am.
I'm worrying you to death. I'm gonna be like, Star girl, what you doing? What you doing? I need you.
I'm coming back.
Yes, I see, like, it's certain things, you know, I kind of like try to have it lingering a little bit, not give too much or whatever. But it's certain things that you have said throughout this, and I think that it will make for very good conversation or whatever the case may be. So I like the way you think, and I like the way that you articulate yourself, and I like the fearlessness of being able to just, you know, kind of like put it out there and live in your truth. I know it could be a little nerve-wracking, you know, being on, you know, on a podcast and all that kind of stuff. I definitely understand it, but
yeah,
you did your damn thing, girl. A dry bitch could never. You fucked it up tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, yes, honey. Anyway, thank y'all so much for Oh, he said, "Damn, I got to get my little compliment real quick." He said, "Damn, be looking good." Okay, cash out me
I
$sign
told
Deasia
her,
Robinson 901, and cash put a little tip in there and say this for you and Star, so I can send my girl something too.
thank you.
Yeah. Hey, anyway, y'all been pop the titty out in a minute. Let me quit playing on Blue Ivy's internet, honey. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I am about to tune out. Y'all have a good one.
I hope you black men were paying attention. I hope you black men were paying attention.